And we are back with another episode of the Hockey Princess podcast. I am your host, the Hockey Princess. We have Krusty Old Guy once again. Folks, just as a reminder, make sure to hit that like and subscribe on either Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, YouTube, however you watch or listen to us ramble on a weekly basis. You are going to one of the final home games at the end of the season. Highly recommend Su Taqueria El Rey del Taco over on Ogden. The food is great, the people are great. And if you are going to any hockey game at all, not just in Chicago and not just in the NHL, folks, please wait for the whistle. Do not get up while the puck's in play. The food will still be there. The bathroom will still be there. The beer will still be there. Just wait, friends. Let's just wait. Let's get into it. How you feeling, Krusty?
I feel good.
Right? Because we won. That happens sometimes.
You know that guy that I needed who would be able to hold possession and take hits and keep the puck?
Yeah.
He's here.
He wears the greatest number in all of hockey, folks. He wears the number 15. The future is 15, as we all saw against the New York Islanders tonight. That is one of the newest additions in the NHL. You've got Anton Frendel coming to Chicago. You've got Sasha Boisvier's paperwork finally getting settled. You have Hagen's set to go to Providence since BC season is done. You also have Yzerman reporting to the Islanders AHL, so the other Islanders. So kids are coming. Kids are coming for Chicago, but also kids are coming to a bunch of other teams as well.
Yes.
We've got another Global Series announcement. And this one kind of, not to make a knock against my own team having a Global Series, but gosh, this one just makes so much more sense. You've got the Carolina Hurricanes versus the Seattle Kraken in Finland. So you have a very Finland-heavy roster playing another very Finland-heavy roster. Not to be confused with all of Team Finland, that is the Dallas Stars. So yeah, we've got another Global Series set for next season, in addition to the Blackhawks going to Dusseldorf.
Okay, sorry, I'm struggling with my cigar. I don't know what the heck happened here.
No, I figured that's why I was just going to keep going.
Yeah, you're going to have to keep going for a second. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Other big thing in the NHL, you got Thomas Chabot out for a bit with the Ottawa Senators. No timeline really, just out for a while, according to the NHL. So that could be a couple of weeks. That could be a shutdown. I'm hoping it's not a complete shutdown. But that's really the only big injury that's come out of this week, because a lot of the other injuries were the weeks prior. So that is really all that we have in the NHL scope, unless Krusty has 2 cents that he wants to add once he gets back, and we can add those later. But we'll jump to Prospect Report, because I know full well Krusty really doesn't have a ton of comments, and we have a lot with our Prospect Report, friends. Or before we get to the Prospect Report, sorry, Krusty, you came in just in time. Did you have any NHL things you wanted to talk about?
Yes, I did. And I'd like to apologize. We're live, and I've got cigar problems. I don't know what the heck is up with the cigar. So I am very sorry about that.
That's okay.
Can you forgive me?
I can forgive you, Krusty. I can forgive you.
Thank you. Okay, I've got 2 things.
Yeah.
Where do you want me to start? Again, we usually do what do we do on Mondays?
Monday preview.
Yes, usually we do Monday previews. We had a Flyers Insider.
Yes, our Flyers Insider.
But our Flyers Insider doesn't quite understand how this works and thinks it all can go like that. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that Hockey Princess needs to do before anything comes out.
That is true, guys.
So he was a tiny bit late in getting his replies in, but I didn't want to upset, and, especially if, it's somebody we could use for next year, because for me, the hockey previews, I love it when we get other people on there, just like
Absolutely.
the Ranger girls for this week.
Oh, we love Double Defense. We love our friends at Double Defense.
So I have NHL news, or
Yes.
I could start with what he sent us.
Well, you've begun the segue of Philly, so let's.
I have,
Yeah.
but I'm not much of a professional, so my, even though I have great segues, I then veer off over to a speed bump anyways. Okay, so we're going to give you another little flyer. I guess it'd be a recap and preview. So from our Flyer Insider, we asked about the goaltending. He basically stated that Harrison had struggled. They really thought he was going to be the number one. Very happy with Vader. I know that's not how you say it, but it sounds so much better.
Vladar?
You got to call him Vader, don't you? Or Darth? I mean, come on. It's close enough. So he was surprised that didn't know a lot about the Vader. But is very happy that they now have what seems to be at the end of the year a true number one for the organization moving forward.
Yep.
Hopefully. Okay. Next, I believe you asked about the Russian, correct?
Yes, Mitchkov.
Michkov. He basically gives him a C+. He's not happy the way Tocchet uses him. He's not getting, according to him, he's not getting a ton of minutes up with the first or second line. So that's kind of affected his pairing also. He also puts, pairing him with a good center, we could see great production. Let's see. Then I believe you asked him about what he thought of the year. He's pretty happy with the... Huh?
Yeah, and of Tocchet.
I think Tocchet's the next one.
Okay.
I've actually they're out and they're numbered and everything. Now, all of this put together this well, I'm curious if that was done by him or somebody else, but I'll
done by somebody else.
I'll get that answer when I'm in Philadelphia in a couple days.
Yeah,
All right.
I feel like I can put some good money on that was organized by somebody else.
I'm not sure, but it looks, the organizing looks familiar. Basically, he's happy with where the team's at. They weren't expected to play this good. They weren't expected to be knocking, on the playoff door. I'm sure they won't get in it, but games are meaningful.
Yeah.
Which, is always very good. Not very happy again with the way they've messed with Mishkov's development. Low ice time, switching them all over the place. And yeah, I guess this is Tocchet also.
Okay.
So he's
asked
not
about judging Tocchet's.
Yeah, so he said he's not happy with the way Michkov is being handled. I guess he's got a little angst about ex-Flyers being hired. So he's got a little angst about Tocchet to begin with, which I can kind of understand that. Before the dynasty years, there was a lot of Hawks retreads all the time. And, when your team's not that great, it seems like that's what they'll do. Give the fan base a familiar face. And he's not all that thrilled with it. He sees some good things, some bad things. We asked about the goaltending, and he basically just, said the Vader, playing well. And then I would assume you asked a question of what they're lacking, maybe, or...
kind of what is the biggest hurdle? What's something that what's the biggest hurdle with the Flyers right now?
He basically says, no true centers. They are very, very weak at center. Is Porter Martone a center?
Yes.
Okay, so that's help coming on the way. Also, the power play is awful. They love holding on to the puck and never taking a shot. lot of power plays are like that. That's good to know that that's league-wide, and it's not just us. And they really don't, he's saying they really don't have a true goal scorer. Zegras has been Zegras, so he played well at the beginning and then kind of has petered off. And then we asked him about my guy, I believe.
Yes.
The Kopecky.
Konecki.
Yeah. You know, he's top for points. He feels he could get 100 points if he actually had a number one centerman. Loves his grit, loves the way he plays.
Yeah.
So, glad he didn't go UFA in 2024, and we have him locked under contract for some time, which I'm glad to hear. Again, he's a crusty kind of player. So, and again, with them being such a young team, that's probably a nice piece to have there, locker room wise and play wise. So that is all from our maybe new hockey flyer insider. We'll see how that goes. These are decisions that I do not make. Krusty's not allowed to make any decisions. Krusty's not allowed to do a lot of stuff except talk when the camera goes on. That's about it.
Yes.
Okay.
You had a NHL thing that you wanted to talk about.
Yes. Not a ton of the stuff came out of the winter meetings with the general managers, except for some drama. You know, I think, which I believe you brought up last week, maybe. There was some yelling back and forth.
We just brought it up when we were eating tacos on Friday. I love. So I get many comments, Krusty, as you've heard throughout the years, as being a female fan.
Yeah, you don't know what you're doing. And don't forget, you're a female fan who's never played hockey, so you get the double whammy of you're just an ignoramus. Yeah, I know.
You know, female fans were a little too emotional. I have never seen more emotions and more emotionally charged behavior than from grown men that work in sports. Because what do you mean you got into a yelling match or whatever with like your boss or your essentially your boss's boss? Like what do you mean?
Yeah, yeah, the stuff by Carolina, that was a little wacky. You know, as far as the over emotion, I don't get that. I don't know where that actually comes from. I don't see how that's possible that you're more emotional than men watching the sport. Because, well, Hockey Princess, I'd like to ask you a question. You know, back when you were a child and stuff, were you ever sent to bed at like 5 p.m. after a Notre Dame USC game because some grown man got really emotional?
Why, yes, Krusty. Yes, I was.
Okay, so, you know, I don't think that's gender specific, okay? We're all a little messed up, and on the sports spectrum, depending on what gets underneath our skin a lot, we all get emotional. But now that I've derailed and gone round and round and round, let's get back. Okay, so one of the things that did come out of the general manager's meeting was Kevin Korchinski rule.
Yes.
So the way it's being explained is if you are a 19-year-old, you will be able to go to the AHL as long as you were a first-round draft pick. Now, this is from Friedman. You know, these are not stuff. I don't got enough insider people. But I guess originally it was one per team, and then teams said, no. If we've got two, and we both feel like we'd like so as long as they're a first-round draft pick, and they're 19, they have the option to send them to the AHL. So that's kind of a big one. it really messed with Kevin, and it was, at the end of the day, a terrible decision by KD, just because now he has to play up in the big league since you played him all year. And if you try to trade him, that team can't send him to the minors either. So it kills his trade value. Just a big swing and the miss. I will let KD off the hook. First year. I know you won't. First year, mistakes are going to happen. We all make mistakes. But go on.
Maybe it was a mistake. I just don't see it as a mistake. Overcompensating's the wrong word, but it just seemed like you really chose to commit to the burning to the ground, to the rebuild, to the everything at the expense of this young kid.
Some of it, I think you did know exactly what to do.
You should have left him in Seattle where he ran number one power play, because that was the thing. Krusty, he wasn't getting all types of area of play in Seattle, like going into his draft year, right?
Correct.
He was sheltered. So you leave him in Seattle for a year where he's not sheltered, and that would have been the better option. You knew what the better option was, Kyle, and you said, I don't care, because I burnt everything to the ground. I sent 1988 away, and I need these people of Chicago to like me.
I don't know if it was that simple. There was a couple things. They were worried about what he was actually going to do in Seattle, even if he went back. There was also the great fear that Seattle would be trading him. They were not basically going to be a playoff contender for that year, and usually your top players then, they trade for like 15,000 draft picks, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were worried about that. And
but why do they care?
Because they didn't want to see, they had a good relationship with Seattle where they could work with them. If he goes someplace else, they don't know if they have that. So they figure, let's have them just under our people. Granted, as I said, it was a
That
huge
worked
mistake.
out so well.
But also, I believe in the back of Katie's mind, he was positive this was a superstar. So he wanted to get his clock running so he could get closer to that second contract quicker before he really blossoms. Again, another swing and a miss. But for teams now, they will not have to worry about that. They can send them to the AHL. Friedman talked about it a little bit, and it made sense from what he said. It probably doesn't take away from a lot of junior players. For the most part, the people now who could play in the AHL are going the college route anyways. So this might stop the college route a little bit and going to the AHL. The only problem with that is for some of them, they're going to make more money going the college route than they will on an AHL contract. So that's still going to be a weird area, but that was the one big change.
Yeah.
So that won't happen to
Porter
teams again.
Martone in Lehigh Valley versus Porter Martone at Michigan State.
Correct. But you could have Porter Martone as a Phantom. Aren't they the Phantoms?
Yeah, Lehigh
I
Valley
do like
Phantoms.
that name. Yep, the Philly Phantoms, yep. Great players such as a Patrick Sharp.
True that.
So those are my two things. Of course, nothing actually from me. You know, I get my information from other people.
Yes.
Which is good, because nobody wants my information out of my brain. Anything else, NHL, we need to talk about?
Nope, we went over it while you were having cigar issues.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Okay. So we've talked about everything NHL.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Jumping to prospect reports, starting off, we have one goal with Jack Pridham with the Kitchener Rangers. The OHL and the WHL has finished out their regular season. So starting next weekend, Pridham with the Kitchener Rangers will face off against the Saginaw Spirit on Friday in the first round of the OHL playoffs. You've got one goal and one assist from Merrick Vanaker with the Brantford Bulldogs. They start facing off against the Sudbury Wolves on Friday for the first round of the postseason. AJ Spelliscy is out with injury. However, the Windsor Spitfires do face off the Gulf Storm on Thursday for the first round. You've got Nathan Bem with 2 assists with the Kamloops Blazers. They'll face off against Kelowna for the first round of the WHL. And then you've got 2 assists for Ashton Cumbie with the Seattle Thunderbirds. They face off Penticton on Friday for the first round of the WHL playoffs. You've got Vaclav Nestrasil's out for UMass. They're done. They lost in the semifinals, and they are not going to the Frozen Four. Providence College lost the matchup in the Hockey East tournament, but they are playing Quinnipiac starting this weekend for the Frozen Four tourney. Adam Guyon, unfortunately, they had a loss against Denver. However, this is going to be a big first matchup for UMD for the Frozen Four tourney because they face off against Penn State first. And if you do not focus on anything draft related until June 1, Penn State is where Gavin McKenna is. So first game into the postseason, Adam Guyon is facing Gavin McKenna. Should be a very big matchup for him. Going into the postseason, save percentage is .908. And then Roman Kanserov is in the postseason as well for the KHL. Had 1 goal and 1 assist for today. They do play tomorrow, so I don't have... This is a little old in terms of news because they do play before this episode comes out. But today...
Aren't we live?
Yes, but we'll drop the recording of this on Thursday.
Okay. But can people watch this now if they want to?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But yeah, so a lot of kids going into postseason. Some kids are just done, like Nestrasil is out. But yeah, just a lot of postseason junior hockey starting on Friday.
Yeah, and it'll be an interesting run for Penn State. McKenna has the ability to solidify being the number 1 with a good tournament run. I
Not
believe.
if Adam Guyon has anything to say
Right,
about it.
and if he does nothing and they get bounced in the first round, then the questions are going to continue. He has a path to distance himself. Whether he does or not, I'm not saying that's going to happen.
Yeah. So, Christy, do you have anything else for prospects?
No.
Okay.
No.
Rockford News had a back-to-back-to-back this weekend, came out with 2 wins and 1 loss. Friday, they unfortunately lost 2-4. Drew was in net. You had 2 goals, one from, this is going to look like a 2023 Chicago Blackhawk roster. Oh, Christy's not even here for my joke. This is so lame. I might just wait, because this is funny. I thought it was funny when I was coming up with stuff. He's probably letting Rutu in or out. Oh, good, you're back. I waited. I stalled because I wanted you to hear my joke.
Okay, bring on the joke.
So Rockford Ice Hogs unfortunately lose Friday 2-4. Drew was in net. And the goals came from a 2023 Chicago Blackhawk roster with Rem Pitlick and Joey Anderson.
Yeah,
What a throwback, friends.
I went and looked at the roster and everything,
Yep.
and I'm just not interested this year. Sorry. I understand that Savah's there, but it's a whole bunch of people I have no idea.
Wait,
So-
I know. That's why you keep me around to pay attention to this stuff. Saturday, you had a win, 4-2. Drew was in net. You had 2 goals from Chase Defoe with his first pro game. one from Brett Saney, and then one from Rem Pitlick. And then Sunday, another win, 4-1. Owen Flores was in net because Rodriguez is still out on a day-to-day, and Drew played 2 games. Then you had 2 goals from Lombardi, 1 goal from Anderson, and 1 goal from Engelbert.
Humperdinck?
Yeah. Big injured reserve issues with Rockford. Like I said, Rodriguez is out on a day-to-day, who is the backup goaltender because Berezhnoy is out on suspension. Tage Harding is out 2 to 3 weeks with a lower body injury, and then Gavin Hayes is out for 6 to 8 weeks with a torn MCL. Gnarly, nasty stuff. So he is pretty much shut down for the year.
Woof. And he was starting to turn things on a little bit, so
he was, and so was Tage Harding. He was one that it was getting interesting. I don't like to do the constant comparison, but I'm gonna do a little comparison. Harding definitely has a Creature look down in Rockford, not at the potential that Creature is at right now, but the early beginnings of Creature. Tage Harding is a very, very large defenseman and is very much using that size down in Rockford, which is great. But yeah, both him and Gavin were turning it up a bit, and so unfortunately they are shut down. But if this is kind of the year to shut it down, because Rockford it's been a bit of a mess. Some of it's because of injury, some of it's because of injury up at the big club, and then you have guys being called up. Some of it is just management lack of care.
Yeah, it was different than I thought it was going to be, and oh well.
Yeah.
It is what it is. At some point in time, that system should be well stocked, and stocked to the point where we're not bringing those kids up right away either, because there's no room for them. So
right. Well, and I
someday.
do think the beginning of last
year, for the Rockford fans, I would like that.
Me too, because Rockford fans are some of the nicest and also some of the hockey smartest people I have met.
True that.
That is an entire barn of people that know every in and out of all the games throughout the season. Yeah, hopefully with some of these kids, because I do think that there will be a decent wave of kids aging out of juniors or not going back for their 3rd year in college that maybe come over. It would be nice to see a Merrick Vaneker come over like we talked about last week. It would be nice to see a Jack Pridham come over. It would be nice to see a John Mustard come to Rockford. I think we're getting another healthier wave. I also do think, we look at the beginning of last year where it was kind of stocked, kind of not. It was definitely one of the more stocked rosters. But you had a lot of people that were traded away. Colton's gone, Nolan Allen's gone. I think they're also starting to figure out, okay, we have 3 of the same type of player who's long-term or even semi-long-term going to fit into the system. And you're figuring might as well trade to try to get something than just keeping them in Rockford. That's really the only logic that I can kind of see behind it, is you do have some guys that have been traded away that were once, keeping Rockford stocked.
Yeah, and again, it's going to be to the point where there's not a ton of room up at the big club, and you're going to ferment down there. And that's the way it is for programs on the upswing. You have good players playing. You look at the Canadians. Owen Beck's still down. That's how you do it. So hopefully we do the same.
Yeah, me too. That is all that I have for Rockford. Chris, you want to talk big club? Because it's a good night to talk about the big club.
I can talk big club. I love talking big club.
First one that we have is Friday's game. Unfortunately, we have to talk about Friday's game.
We have to? You got a lot of rules on this show.
Not. guys, we kind of said it last week. You know, facing Colorado is not going to be easy. It's going to be rough, and it was rough. This is one of the few games where I really try not to go in with a ton of expectations and do give at least some of the younger kids the benefit of the doubt, because for a Nick Lourdes, even an Artie, like these younger kids, it is a tall ask to go up against Cale Makar. It is a tall ask to go up against Nathan McKinnon. It's a tall ask to go up against the Colorado Avalanche this year. So I'm not, it wasn't fun to watch, but I'm also not going to be incredibly critical on the performance just because I kind of knew what it was going to be prior to the game.
Yeah, that is what it is. There's only so much you can do against that team.
Yeah.
You know, it was just kind of there.
Yeah.
They held on. It didn't get completely out of hand, but it was never in doubt, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Were we going to talk about the Minnesota game on Thursday or no?
Oh, yes, we can talk Minnesota game, which was great. It was great to get a win against Minnesota. Because
our first win in like 8 years, or I'm sure.
Our first win since Utah.
Well, our first win against Minnesota for
ever.
I think it was like 18 or 19 games. So
yeah.
Again, another big good night by Spencer. So,
thank you, Spence.
You know, was Minnesota looking down the line? Probably. You know, I've told you how I feel about this kind of stuff as we're in the last 15 games.
Very good. Then we have Sunday's game, which Krusty is going to blame me for because we went to brunch.
Yeah.
And that's really what caused the loss.
That's right. It's all Hockey Princess's fault. You know, it's Trashville. It's a team you want to beat, and they just couldn't quite hang on. Just not able to do enough at the end of the day. So, Lardass with a goal, which was, you know, deflected in by somebody else to begin with. Mm-hmm. Ryan Green with an unbelievable feed to Connor Bedard, and Connor Bedard being Connor Bedard. So, and, you know, the overtime woes continue. But after that overtime loss, I was able to hear from everybody, you know, if we were better in overtime, we'd be almost in the playoffs. Yeah, I could put an if to anything. Okay? Yes, if we were to give up 2 less goals a game, we'd be in a playoff spot.
Pretty sure that could be said for a lot of teams.
Exactly. You know, it is what it is. Is there an issue? Yes. Again, part of that issue, at least for your first pairing jumping over the board, is also fixed now. So, yeah, you hate to lose to that team. Again, you know, you got a point against a team fighting for a playoff spot, but you should have been able to find a way to win that game, and that'll be the, you know, the issue for next year. Yes. You need to start to be able to close out tough games, and it always looks like that's not going to happen. So, anything else you noticed from Sunday's game besides that it was all your fault?
Yeah, it was all my fault, guys. I'm sorry that I made Krusty go to brunch. But to be fair, he offered brunch, and I'm the type of girly that if brunch is offered, it just sits in my brain, and I have to obsess over it because I love brunch, especially in the city of Chicago. There is really not better brunch unless you go to Canada, because we've already had that conversation. Yeah, it's a game you want to win, especially with how Friday went. Um, yeah, Krusty's going. Yeah, it definitely. Yeah, it sits uncomfortably in your stomach. Um, just because that's definitely one that you could have won and you probably should have won. Um, but yeah, I really don't have anything on Nashville. It was a little bit of a bummer.
Yeah, it was. It was one of those great 2 o'clock starts. A lot of
Yeah,
kiddies
that
around.
Krusty loves. Guys, I've never seen someone more excited. I'm not a 2 o'clock starter. Um, they're not my cup of tea because I feel like the day is gone. Like it's just smack dab in the middle of the day. I like a Friday night 7:30 start. I have my whole day. I go eat dinner, I go to the game, and then I sit on my phone for an hour, and then I go to bed like a normal person. The 2 o'clock ones, like it's just that's the day. Like it just feels my day is thrown off.
Well, for me, it's perfect because I'm old, I'm crusty.
Yeah, it is
So,
pretty.
getting before it's late, I've
Yeah,
got a ton of energy. So I was very wound up. I was ready to go.
yeah,
Um, the Hawks look like they were a little bit. It's just they get overwhelmed at times. It's a lot to learn how to win.
yeah.
And we'll see if that happens next year.
Yeah. Um, was-
And as far as the brunch, Krusty's problem is Krusty has basically a routine. So we go to the same place. I eat at the same place. So there's a voice in Krusty's head.
there's
There's a
many
voice in
voices in
there.
Krusty's head.
There's a
There's many
yeah, there's a
voices.
ton of voices in there. Um, that goes, Krusty, you should be doing more. You should be going different places. What's wrong with you? So that's why I threw out the brunch.
Fair, very fair. Um, yeah, and I can never say no to brunch. I love brunch so much. Guys, I've already made brunch plans for when we go to Seattle in a couple of weeks. I am so excited. And then we have tonight's game, which was great. Beginning of the road trip. Boys are out east. Krusty's gonna join them
I am.
eventually if he ever, makes a flight. Um,
Whoa, whoa, don't do that. Don't do that. My flight's Thursday morning, and the
oh,
game's
there you
Thursday night.
go.
I need to. Don't be jinxing me there, hockey
I'm
princess.
not. I'm not
Okay.
knocking on the wood. Um, we have the beginning of the road trip. Guys, I'm not gonna lie. I thought this was gonna be bad, especially right out the gate. Um, I thought it was gonna be pretty bad with the first goal, with how fast the Islanders came out of the gate to start the first period. I was like, oh, this is Colorado all over again. This is going to get bad very quickly. But I was proven wrong. And do you know why I was proven wrong, Krusty?
Because you're usually wrong.
Because the kids are here and the future is 15. 15 is the future. And the children are here. The children are vibing. We finally have a game. Krusty, you and I have been saying for years, basically since the start of the pod, I win or lose, I can't wait till it's just like the kiddos out there having a good time. And man, the kiddos were out there and they were having a good time.
Well, they really were. I'm
It
gonna
was the
try.
first game in so long that I'm like, I don't even care if we win because they're just not miserable out there. You could see through the screen that they are not miserable. That's all. I just wanted these kids to not be miserable.
Yeah, and the first 12 minutes were rough.
Yeah.
The Islanders were taking it to them, and then things just kind of changed.
You know what changed? 15 changed.
Well, we could start with him if you'd like.
I'm so excited, guys. It was announced that his number is 15, and I lost my mind.
Yeah, and again, the first goal, Larda scores. A bad back checking by all of the Islander forwards.
Yeah.
Because basically it was almost a 2-on-1 that Nazer couldn't finish whatsoever, but was able to get the puck behind the net and flip it right out to Lardas, who buried it. I believe he went low, and Riddick kind of gave that one up. And I believe, as far as the Islanders are concerned, Patrick Waugh really couldn't turn around and yell at his team a ton, because that was probably a mistake by Patrick Waugh. There wasn't a back-to-back. Why Sorokin was not in net was a blatant disrespect to this Blackhawk team.
And
He didn't need to rest him, and he rested him. And then he only rested him for a period anyways. I've been on board with Lardas not getting top 6 minutes. I thought, protect him a little bit more. He's still getting shifts with Bedard. I think he's going to be a problem in your own end. And in the third period, it kind of was, but
not
I
as
think
much
for
as
the
it has been.
yeah, I thought for the most part he told Krusty to shut up.
Yeah.
He played a good game. He's got skill. There's no doubt about it. I don't know where he fits, if he fits, but I know he's got skill. So I'll show myself the door on that one, that I, think I know what I'm talking about. But anybody who's listened to this pod a lot knows I don't know what I'm talking about. And then we have the second goal. Now, the second goal was everything I've been looking for this year.
This kid's just, his vision. It's disgusting.
It wasn't that the vision went for me, that the vision was disgusting, but the fact that he paid no attention to Connor Bedard. None whatsoever, and made the correct play. I hope everybody on that team watches that, because that's it in a nutshell. And I could tell towards the end of the game, especially the end of the second period, 98 was thrilled to have him on his wing. There was a couple rushes where I could tell he was like, oh my God, I have a skilled player with me. I can put it between my legs and leave him a drop pass, and I know he's going to know what to do with it. A phenomenal feed by Frondell. Again, it's that 15-game period and everything else, but I cannot.
But the kid literally got into New York, what, today?
He excites the heck out of me. It's everything this team needs. He is going to be a player. Connor Bedard's waited a long time to get somebody else to play with that, and that is also somebody who can hold puck possession. It is a perfect fit. If you decide to keep Connor Bedard at center, that's fine having him on the wing. And we'll see where the rest of it pans out. But the fact that he didn't even pay him any attention and knew, you're the one who's going to take a defender, and this guy's going to be wide open. I know how this game works. Yeah, it was very exciting.
No doubt about it. Good.
So, as much as I tell everybody to slow their roll, I will not be telling anybody to slow their roll about 15. He's only going to get better. But he's a piece that they don't have a ton of yet.
It's a piece that they have none of.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what Vanaker's going to be. I don't know what Sasha's going to be. But I know what this guy's going to be. And that's only going to be more and more. But yeah, he's not deferring to anybody. He's going to be making hockey decisions. And that's like any other Swedish player. That's what they're taught. It's open areas. That's what you're dealing with. And so he knew he had an open area to flip Mickey Mouse a puck. So, yes, that was unbelievably exciting. And we can also go back to the point, on one of my boards of why is Bloom in net? There is no back-to-back. Well, Bloom must have heard that too, because Bloom played out of his mind tonight.
Well, and
he had the one. Go on.
And with Bloom, because Bloom was in net Friday, correct? Or was Bloom in? Yeah.
Was Bloom in net Friday? Oh, now we don't know. Uh-oh. Here we go. Giving out answers to stuff we don't know. He had to have been, yeah. Yes, he was in net. It was a back-to-back. Yes, he was.
Because even Friday, and I know, everybody's awake, so they're going to be hating on Arvid Soderblom. That wasn't a great final score, Chicago versus Colorado. That could have been so much worse if Bloom wasn't standing on his head half the time. Thank you for coming to my weekly Bloom defense.
Yeah, well, there was 50 shots on goal.
Exactly.
Not counting the other 21 that were blocked by Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that Bloom played great in that game, and he played great in the game before. Bloom has not been that much of an issue.
No.
And tonight he was spectacular.
Yes.
Yes. Third goal, a little leaky. Yeah. Sometimes that happens, but he was dialed in. He's the reason they got out of this in regulation.
Oh, for sure.
No doubt about it. And then, another Bert goal. Bert being where Bert is at. Another good cycle by Lardass. Getting it up to the pickle. I thought it was perfect. So, again, I'll state it. I might be wrong on what the Lardass can handle. And at the end of the day right now, it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's playing with who. I think you did the Hawks Nation a great service by taking the Barracuda off the top line. You were going to have a mini revolt, and there was already rumors that Green would go to the third line center, and that didn't happen.
Also,
yes?
Because there were a lot of, with the Green, having Green go to the third line center is not a demotion to the journalists that kept using the tagline that it is a demotion for him. That is probably where Ryan Green is going to be in the future of whatever this plan is. And there's no reason why you shouldn't give younger kids the opportunity to play in different scenarios. If you have a forward that can play center as well as wing, gosh, maybe you should play him center as well as wing, or at least try that. We're in the last 15 games. It doesn't matter anyway. It's not a demotion to get Ryan Green a bit of time and see how he does at the center position.
Correct. I mean, you're going to start to figure out what your lineup looks like next year.
And because everybody in the NHL really loves to hop on the Anaheim Ducks train with look how great they're doing, look how great they're doing. You see how much depth they have at the center position? Wouldn't you want to see how much potential depth you have at the center position by testing and seeing if any of these younger kids can play center? It's not a demotion.
Correct. I think most of the people had a massive problem with it because what originally was thought is Green was going to third line center and Barracuda was staying on the top line, and I think that just led to everybody's angst.
Yeah.
I don't know where Barracuda goes from here. But you're correct. Ryan Green's probably, you're hoping in a playoff team that his calling card is your third line center that can do a lot of things and also can move up the lineup.
Yeah.
Because of the way he sees the game. And then we had our fourth goal, which we found out we needed.
Yeah.
So, and that was another good play. NASCAR finishing again, another good play by the Lardass.
Yeah, he really
So,
just gave you the finger.
oh, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. As I said, they had some fleas in the third, but the whole team did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gave me the middle finger. Whatever you guys want to say, no doubt about it. He played a really good game. As I said, I still don't know what he's going to be. He's nothing out of this year. I know we have two more pieces. I know Ryan Green is a piece.
Yes.
And I know 55 is a piece.
Yes.
That's it. I don't know about the rest of them. We'll see. Doesn't
You
mean
know
that they're
who's a
not. I'm
piece?
just saying I'm not declaring.
15 is a piece.
Yeah, I can't imagine that he's not, but he just got here. He's only played one game. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure he will be a piece.
Yeah, it was a great game. Guys, I'm a little too excited. It might not just be that his number's 15, which means he's set up for greatness.
And then, we just held on for dear life.
Yeah, because Roy decided to play Matthew Schaefer for over 30 minutes. And it's going to get scary when Matthew Schaefer's on the ice, as we saw the entire game, but really as we saw at the end, too.
Yeah, and he can handle those minutes. He is a wonderful player
insane.
To watch. And again, I think, as we like to call him, Roy.
Yes.
Would have liked to lit into his team a little bit, but I am pretty sure that's a decision he would have liked to gone back on and just played Sorokin from the beginning.
Yeah.
That's on him. That was not a good decision. Because, even the Lardass goal, Sorokin probably takes away the bottom. And, on the second goal, he probably stops too. So, a bad maneuver. The Islanders dictated play in that third, scoring twice. They could have scored 3, 4, 5 times in the third if it wasn't for Soderblom. They just hung on for dear life. Luckily, they had 4 in the bank already. I was ready to unbelievably praise everything until the meltdown in the third, and it just lets you also know we still have a ton of work ahead. It was a beautiful thing to watch. I'm salivating over a Frondel, which I'm sure is a little gross for people, but that's a huge piece. It's something that you have to have.
He's so cool.
The way he was able to get in front of people, wall them off, and just hold puck possession
is insane.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. So
Yeah.
I am sure that'll go towards the end of the year. That'll fade a little bit just because I think this will be a world win for him. And at some point in time, it all just catches up with him.
Or he doesn't.
And that's going to be
He's just
okay.
that guy.
But you know what he is.
Yeah.
You already know you have 2/3 of your top line set. You know Bedard and Frondel are going to be playing together. I think...
Which I will love to say. I do love, hats off. I don't know if you saw the replay video of Bedard moving from the center dot for the opening,
Yes.
so Frondel could take the face-off. Very, very good on 98.
Yeah. And as I said, you could tell his jump and his thrill to be playing with a player like that who sees the game properly and is able to do things. So again, a really nice win. 2 points that the Islanders really, really needed. And it's going to be hilarious if they look back, and that's why.
Yeah.
I thought Bash and Pop did a good job. Artie and EDM looked pretty good. again, I don't want to overly critical of EDM in the third because I just think everybody in the third was chasing so much that
Right.
it
Everybody in the
becomes
third had a
difficult.
meltdown.
Now, Artie, I thought played unbelievable. I thought he was walling off people and getting easy outs out of the zone.
Yeah.
Again, I will reiterate those bonehead plays, like where he fans on the pass and it goes right to the. Those aren't going to stop for a couple more years. I am sorry. I know you think that this 20-year-old, all of a sudden, it's all going to go away, but it is not. Especially a player like that, he wants to make plays. So, yes.
Can I give the NHL news?
You can do whatever you want. It's your show.
You're going to want to watch the replay on this. Washington Capitals, Pierre-Luc Dubois has issued a match penalty for intent to injure Rob Thomas. Fully takes, like, his arm under the armpit and, like, throws him onto the ice. Guys, it looks like a wrestling move. Sorry. Me doing a sidetrack.
Yeah, way to speed bump. Yeah, good old PDL. He is what he is. There's a reason why he's been traded so many times. And the beautiful thing about him, whenever he's traded, that first year looks great. His first year on a team, I mean, granted, he was hurt a good portion of this year.
Yeah.
But getting back to our club, yeah, I thought the defenseman did well. I'm really thrilled with Bert's game.
Yes.
I'm glad Bert has the A. His hustle, I think, will be contagious. And when we talked last year, I saw him just lollygagging, and I thought he started to hustle more because Nazar was making him look bad. I think he came in with a different mindset this year, and he doesn't give up on anything. He's got an unorthodox style of how he plays, falling down on the ice, but it works. But he's always hounding.
Mm-hmm.
So
and he's always there.
Yeah, he's always there, and if he's not there, he's going to get there, and he's going to make it at least a little bit more difficult. So, again, he's another piece. Where he fits for next year, I don't know. That'll be the thing we can talk about in the off season. Those top two lines. I don't know how exactly all of that looks.
You don't know.
I don't know.
A lot of moving parts.
You got a lot of moving parts. This was a great win, a great way for Frondell to start his career. I hope somebody got him that puck from Mickey Mouse's goal.
He did. It's already been posted.
And again, he gets to go to Philly in a couple days. He can say hi to me.
Yep.
I don't think I'll be going down for warm-ups, It's not my youngest's thing.
Yeah, they'll be in Flyers gear anyway.
Huh?
They'll be in Flyer whatever.
Who will?
Or Flyers Insider.
Oh, yes. Well, yeah, we probably will see the Flyer Insider. He will be all dialed up in Flyer gear. As far as the other person, unsure of what she'll be wearing, but I believe she's going to wear the colors, but I don't blame her if she doesn't.
I do.
She's a different animal.
Ooh.
But, either way, I can tell you one of the two jerseys there will be a Roenick jersey.
Friend of the pod.
Yes, friend of the pod.
All right.
Yeah?
Now, Christy, you got anything else for this week?
The only thing I have is I've got this. Look at this. Well, let's see if you can see this.
Hi, Rutu.
That's Rutu going, I've been waiting 3 hours for my walk. She's just sitting there staring at me, going, where's my walk? So, with this late recording and everything else, she's very upset with me.
All right, so we should go so Route 2 gets her walk. Folks, just as a reminder, make sure to hit that like and subscribe on either Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, YouTube, however you watch or listen to us ramble on a weekly basis. If you're going to a game this season, highly recommend Su Taqueria El Rey del Taco over on Ogden. And if you're going to any hockey at all, folks, wait for the whistle. Please do not get up all the pucks in play. That is all, and we will talk to you guys. Yep.
Isn't there something tomorrow night?
Guys, takeover tours tomorrow. Yesterday, if you're listening to this later, but takeover tours tomorrow, guys.
Oh, that's right. It drops Thursday, so
yeah, but we'll just drop
Krusty's an idiot. Sorry.
Takeovers tomorrow, friends. If you see me, we have friendship bracelets. It should be very, very fun. Support women's hockey always. That is all, folks, and we will talk to you guys next week.